A company's solvency is its ability to meet its commitments and obligations, that is, to pay its employees, suppliers, taxes, repay its loans, service its debt, and more generally, to pay off all its debts. There are two types of solvency. Short-term solvency, referred to as liquidity, which is the ability to meet day-to-day obligations, and long-term solvency, that is the ability to meet obligations in a structural way. When a company cannot meet its obligations, whether in the short or long term, it risks going bankrupt or at least being in a state of payment default. Indeed, a company may temporarily lack liquidity, becoming illiquid, without its solvency being immediately called into question. Nevertheless, a prolonged situation of illiquidity may result in a state of insolvency, as this will arouse distrust among creditors, whether banks or others, who will no longer be willing to provide loans or payment extensions, thereby hastening the insolvency and the disappearance of the company. Measuring liquidity is relatively straightforward, and a few ratios allow for a quick assessment and, if necessary, the detection of risky situations, although they do not always make it possible to identify the causes, except to say that there is not enough cash. It is the various and complementary measures of solvency that make it possible both to distinguish the underlying reasons and, if necessary, to identify more structural solvency problems. The analytical toolkit includes a variety of tools such as working capital requirement analysis and related ratios, cash flow and treasury statements, or financial structure ratios. Various reasons can lead to illiquidity and insolvency. Poor management of working capital requirements, for example, excessively large inventories or insufficient margins that do not allow for the financing of necessary investments. Conversely, investments that are too high and do not result in increased activity, revenue, and ultimately margins. Excessive debt leading bankers to reduce their support and/or generating excessively high financial expenses. Finally, managing the company's solvency goes beyond its diagnosis and immediate liquidity. It is a long-term process and requires projecting into the future, notably through financing plans in order to prevent harmful consequences.